I know what you want, and we are here to deliver. This is the often imitated, never duplicated. Clank your chains and count your change. Clock, socks, bagels, and locks. It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live.
Conditioned by indoctrination, conditioned by society. You're a victim of the digital age, a 21st century casualty. Open your eyes, you're losing control. Open your eyes, put down the phone. Conditioned by misinformation, it's just the media telling us lies. Decipher fiction from the truth, society's slow and tragic demise. Open your eyes, you're losing control. Open your eyes, put down the phone. Everyone's got their fucking opinion.
Cyborgs, mutants, subhumans, everybody, welcome back. Good to see everyone. I hope your Sunday's going well. I hope well is going your Sunday. What's up, Spiky? Frozen, Indiana. Yeah, speaking of Frozen. Yeah. Sean McNally. Oh, Boston. Come on with your Boston guys sound off, huh? Boston guys. You looking forward to this one? Good. Fishing Physician 113. I know it's snowing out there, right? Yeah. LaRoche, what's happening? Good to see everybody. What's up, Josh? You know? Big snow coming. Speaking of big snow, from the Isle of Long.
What's up?
Stephen Messina. What's up?
What's up? Waiting for the snow-a-cane.
How could the snow-a-cane? Let me see. There's for those who may be not on the Eastern Seaboard, apparently, this is a new term to me. This is a snow-a-cane is heading our way. Whatever that means. This is going to be as close to snow-a-cane as we'll ever see in real life. Hurricane force gusts among the coast will cause white-out blizzard conditions.
It says this will be one for the history books.
Ah, kiss my ass. You know, I doubt it.
In your building, you're not even going to feel it.
I'm telling you, my building, like I've said, my buildings is like Hitler's bunker. It's like it could be a nuclear holocaust, and you'd be like, I go down and get the paper in the morning.
Gotta say, though, more importantly, 46 years later, we took the gold today.
Yo, I saw the hockey game this morning. Pretty wild, considering Canada was molesting the U.S. team the whole game. They basically were just molesting. I can't come up with a better word. They were molesting them, and the U.S. goalie was just incredible. That guy won the whole game for them. And then on the 3-on-3, they pulled it out. It was pretty cool. Yeah,
it was great. And the women also took the gold.
I got to tell you something crazy about. Speaking of women.
Hey.
Oh, hi. Hi. What's happening?
Yes, the women took the gold.
I got to tell you. Hold on. I got to tell you a crazy story. So, you know my best friend Mark Levine, right? Me and Mark Levine, growing up here in Manhattan, we went to PS 158, 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade. And one of our classmates and buddies growing up was Artie Hahn. Artie Hahn had a younger sister who we knew. She was younger than us. Artie Hahn's younger sister, her daughter, is the goalie for the women's U.S. hockey team.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
Kid we grew up with's daughter. Yep.
That's awesome. That's great.
Yeah. Yep.
It's you know what? It's a great thing and it's something that we can like something that makes you feel really good for America, that you don't have to listen to people anymore, you know. Something to be positive about America.
Dom, shouting. Speaking of being positive and
God,
America
Foos.
and
Yes.
the great state of Ohio.
Yeah.
What's up, Don?
We got to get that guy back here.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We all love that band.
Yes, we do.
Don't make fun of Artie Hahn, yo. He's like one of those kids. When we were
Yes,
kids, he was like built like a fire hydrant. Like, yeah.
Now, speaking of Levine's, what's that around your neck there?
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Convert?
Oh, my God.
yeah. I
What's happening
actually, no, I have not. In fact, I have not converted. It's in fact, can you see what that is? It's a crucified skin. It's my crucified skinhead.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
Jesus, what is that?
It's a skinhead.
Listen, don't get your hopes up. I haven't converted. It's a skinhead.
Okay.
Bless
Yeah.
you, my child.
Bless you, my skinhead. Go out and put them docks on and go out and get out on the dance floor.
Yeah.
Are you, Lori, how are you doing up there as far as the snow-a-cane goes?
So yeah, the snow-a-cane has not happened. Has not hit the Cape yet. However, my favorite weather guy, Reed Timmer, says that there is a lot of instability ahead of this storm. There's instability. So I don't know what that means, but he seems pretty concerned about it. So
It's going to be.
it's going to be pretty gnarly out there in a couple of hours. Yeah. Yeah. We got a lot of trees around us. I got chickens outside. So
Today's
What do the chickens do when it's really cold?
they don't come out of their coop.
Oh, they have a coop.
Yeah, they don't like stepping in the snow with their little chicken feet.
Right.
Is it heated?
So so they keep each other warm by passing gas.
Like
Yeah.
punk rock kids.
Yeah, so you have to keep it a little bit ventilated in the coop so that they don't die of farts.
Wow.
You know, these are things I never
Boy,
know right now.
boy, I'm glad I'm a city guy. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm gonna give everybody a peek outside my window.
Uh-oh.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. Hold on.
Yeah. So they're interesting. They're bred for the cold weather. Normally, if they weren't in the coop, they would be keeping warm in the trees and bushes and stuff. But
Wow.
yeah, that's right, Jeff. Chicken farts.
That's today's fact. Today's fun fact.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
There we go.
that garbage. No. What is that? Oh, okay.
Oh, it's starting.
Nice.
Oh, look
Yeah.
at that.
It's not sticking yet, but
No.
yeah. What is that? Your lunch out there? You take out? There was no room in the fridge?
That's what happens. That's what happens when your when you live in a confined space and you can't fit it in the refrigerator and it's the winter. You put it out on the
Right
ledge.
outside, yeah.
So I gotta say, over the weekend, was it over the weekend or was it Friday? Whatever it was, I went to the opening of the Bowery Palace.
Hey,
Oh yeah.
how was that?
They were literally putting up the sign as the door was opening. They were still building the sign, but it was the opening of Jesse's Silver Manhattan, and which I'd heard a lot about, and I hadn't seen it at Gramercy, and it was really, really great. And they had chairs, I was sending Drew pictures through the night. There's like the wallpapers, there's like red wallpaper now and chandeliers and
Yeah, it looked nice going down the steps with the red wallpaper and the yeah.
And the stage is much bigger. They got rid of the DJ booth,
Mm-hmm.
but the they're calling it an off-Broadway play. I mean, I thought it was great. And he actually got up and walked off and walked up the step with the walker. And
Oh, wow.
he had this singer from a band called Low Cut Connie with him for the encore. Like, he has a different encore person every night. But it was really, really cool. And And the venue looks great. I mean, I wonder, like, he's doing 30 shows, so, but it was very cool.
Yeah, I talked to him the other day after that show, and he's been making a run at it. And I think we're thinking about going. We're going to be able to get back in if we want to get back in that room. I'm thinking about maybe doing something there in June. We'll see.
Well, the stage is a lot bigger. You'll be happy with that. I mean,
Yeah.
It got rid of that, the round part in front of the singer there
Oh, okay.
that people trip on all the time and fall
And-
into each other.
And they got rid of the DJ booth up top.
Yes, a DJ booth as well. So, but it
All
was
right.
a really nice
Cool.
event.
All right. Good luck, Steven. If you have to go out and shovel.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
I got the blower set up. I got the shovels ready.
Remember to bend at the knee. Lifting all that snow. It's going to be heavy.
I'll see you. Hang out. I'll see you. I'll see you a little bit later, Steven. All right.
I'm excited about today.
I am too. It's like just talking to a couple of friends today.
Yeah, it'll be a nice little book club.
Yep. So that said, you are watching the New York Hardcore Chronicles live, and we are sponsored by DTFM Vinyl Distro, Generation Records, 126 Hardcore Clothing, Woman of the Pit, She Devils Coven, Minty Fresh, and the Texas Silver Rush. They're a jewelry design firm and boutique store located in the birthplace of the Texas country music scene in Fredericksburg, Texas. They specialize in working with musicians in all music genres to design and create unique one-off pieces, as well as to style them for stage, album covers, promo photos, and social media exposure. Their client list includes Rock and Roll Hall of Famers Greg Rowley, Ringo Starr, and of course, Agnostic Front. Information on online sales has been taken at their Facebook and Instagram page, and of course, www.thetexassilverrush.com. That said, here we go. Let's bring our guest on. And away we go. Today's guest is an American entrepreneur closely associated with the city of Boston, Massachusetts. He's the founder of Sully's, which is the original Boston sports fan merchandise brand, and of course, Bridge 9 Records, which is recognized worldwide with over 250 releases, including H2O, Have Heart, Agnostic Front, Incendiary Device, and many more. Here today to talk to us about his badass new book, Fenway Punk, How a Boston Indie Label Scored Big on Baseball's Biggest Rivalries, and much, much more. Please welcome, coming at us from Beverly, Massachusetts, our good friend and supporter, Mr. Chris Wrenn.
Drew,
Hey.
Lori, thank you.
How you
Appreciate
doing?
that intro.
Yeah.
It's good to
Look
have
at
you
you.
back.
Look at you. You got like a whole thing going on there.
Yeah, well, we had a book release event last week, so this is kind of the backdrop that we had for our exhibit.
Yeah. Are you psyched to get? Are you psyched to get out? Are you psyched that it's finally out?
Yeah, I mean, writing a book's a long process.
It sure is.
I mean, and even just the book was done 2 years ago, so like waiting for it to kind of go through the channels and come out, it takes a while.
I think that's the case with a couple of things. It happens with records sometimes. It certainly happens with films. You finish a film and you kind of forget about it, and it comes out a year or two later. So sometimes there's a lot of lag time.
Yeah.
With this stuff, but why now? Why now for the book? Finally, like, what was the impetus to commit the pen to paper and make it happen? Why now?
I think, I could have written this book 20 years ago, and I feel like it wouldn't have had the same impact because, the money that we were making at Fenway and the opportunity that we had with the rivalry between the Red Sox and the Yankees, putting that money into releasing albums and helping build Bridge 9 faster than it ever could have been built. And having all these bands, record, go out on tour, whether, again, it's American Nightmare or Terror, Have Heart, Death Board Dishonor. I mean, so many artists that we've worked with. That's really the story at the end of the day. So, we had this really, really cool opportunity 25 years ago, and we milked it for many years. Mm-hmm. But being able to kind of focus that into building something else is is kind of what helped make it a better story. So, you know, it was just one of those things where people knew about it, and I would talk to people and I'd tell the story about those days. But I wanted to put it in a form that would kind of live on, and that people could, you know, could actually check out and not just have to ask me about it.
Was it hard to take that first step and like that very first step and sit down and did you type it or did you dictate it?
So I typed it. It took a really long time. It was really difficult. I mean, I had to really be disciplined and try and, you know, write an hour, you know, 2 hours a day. Every morning, basically, for years, I would go into the office, and first thing I would do is just try and just dump as much as I could, you know, into like this document. And, you know, after a couple of years of just adding and adding and adding, finally, you know, sat down with someone to kind of help me figure out, like, all right, now what do I take back? How do I kind of chop this up and make it in a way that flows? So,
did you? In the end, did you have an editor that sort of like sorted through it? Yeah.
So I hired an editor, and she went through and helped me with the timeline, the flow of things. You know, it was having somebody say, hey, you know, this chapter is interesting, but it doesn't do anything to the story. So just take this whole thing out. But also, you know, hey, I really like this, and I want to know more about these people or this event. You know, I feel like this, you know, kind of would factor in more. So tell me more. So having somebody to kind of guide me through what should be taken out and what should be added was really helpful.
Yeah. Was it hard to say goodbye to some of that stuff? Were you? I know sometimes it can be. I know for a filmmaker, although personally I take pride on not being that guy, but I know sometimes it's hard to, you know, you don't understand how much money and time went into it doesn't matter in the big picture. You need to do what's good for the art. Was there certain things that were hard to be like, this one was really close to me, but I have to let it go?
Not that it was close to me, but there was definitely, you know, fun facts and things that I thought would be interesting or funny that, or like be a part of the story that it just didn't fit. So, you know, It was just a matter of just, having to make that call and cut them.
Any thoughts, Lori?
I love this book. And I'm here representing my Yankees because I feel like, you know, I lived the other side of this all, right? You know, I think it was a great read. I loved how it was, you know, the punk was entwined with the sports. And my question was, my first question about the book was, you know, when you went into school, you went as a fine arts major?
Yep.
Now, did you have any idea of maybe what you wanted to do with that? Or were you always kind of like, I think I want to do something with music or getting a label? When did that idea form?
So I decided, or I had real thoughts about starting a label probably after my freshman year of college. So when I committed to going to a school and committed to a program, like music wasn't part of it. I'm not a musician. I never had the focus, I think, when I was younger to focus on learning. So all of my friends were musicians and in bands. So at the time, I wanted to start a label to just be involved and give back and be a part of the crew. But when I committed to going to college, it was, you know, I was an art student. I was interested in art. I wasn't really focused on anything specific. So I kind of had a general art, focus, I guess, ultimately landing on graphic design.
Okay.
But this was in the mid 90s. So, I mean, we had one Apple computer at my college. So it wasn't like, you know.
And in the 90s, I remember, because I went in also community college. I started out as an art major and I thought I'd go into graphics. And this was before computers. And like, again, it was the same thing. We maybe had one.
Yeah.
And the face of graphic art really started changing, you know? So, that's interesting.
I took, so let's bounce the ball back and forth a little bit. I took some notes, some quotes that I really like, and I think we're going to sort of shift back and forth between sort of the actual process and excitement and drama of selling stuff at Fenway Park, and we'll go back and forth between that and the label. According to the book, Deep Purple's Machine Head is the first record that you owned on vinyl, correct?
That's right. Yeah.
Any particular reason why that turned up first?
Yeah. So it was just my cousin he was a vinyl guy. He had a bunch of records, and he lived in Maine. I would go visit him and my family up there, every year or so. And he gave me a couple of his old records, records that he had duplicates of. I think that record, and he gave me Pink Floyd, The Wall. They were just records. I think he had worn out a copy and gotten a new copy, and gave me the kind of worn out copy. But yeah, the Deep Purple record was the first one.
Wow, that's it. And your favorite, and I'm moving down the line a little bit. Your favorite band, early on, was Sick of It All.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're high up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I dedicate there's a chapter called Scratch the Surface, and it really was a metaphor for like what I was hoping to do at the time.
Yeah. They were a powerful band. And you were, it said, and I quote, I was obsessed with graffiti, which I'm leading you in here into some of the next stuff, but graffiti seemed to be an obsession, but I guess eventually it was just a little too chaotic, hectic, dangerous, and illegal for you. But it ties in later on, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, graffiti was, it was the early 90s. I think it was like 92, 93, 94 that I was doing graffiti with friends. And it was as an arts kid, it was something that I was attracted to, but I also love the idea of, just putting your name up places. And I think that's kind of something I think I continued that out after graffiti with stickers and branding for Bridge 9.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that was when you don't have enough money to pay for traditional advertising, you do things like that.
It's pretty bold move. I mean, pretty bold. It
looks very dangerous.
Yeah. So I did. So this is it's over the Charles River. Between Boston and Cambridge. Sure. It's something like 250 or 300 feet wide. I went down there at like midnight, and I had buckets of paint, rollers, and you have to stand on a pipe like that, like kind of runs alongside the bridge, and then hold the top of that kind of wall. But if you look down, you're just like looking at the water. So
is that a railroad bridge, or is that like a pedestrian?
Yeah, that's
the railroad bridge,
that's
right?
That's a railroad bridge. I don't know how active it is. It wasn't active. I mean, there was certainly no trains that went over it when I was on it, and I've been down there since and haven't seen trains on it. But I think it's like a rare once in a while to have a freight train go through. But yeah, that took me like all night. I had like a 5-gallon bucket of white paint and just worked my way across, just kind of shifting this, bucket of paint in a paint tray and a roller as I went along. Yeah, so I went back.
Is this the same place?
Same exact place.
Damn, bro.
I think 4 years later.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this was in the embryonic stage, I guess, when you could actually do something like that and actually put your .com on it. It's like, here I am. I'm defacing property, and if you need to find me, I'm right here.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, so that bridge has a very long tradition of being painted. I whitewashed it when I did it, but I mean there's graffiti on it, and there has been as long as I've known it.
Right.
So it's just always had something painted on it, and oftentimes it's stuff painted on it related to the colleges, because BU is right there, and a lot of the like the like the BU like kind of like rowing teams and stuff go through there.
I actually remember this from when I was in Boston in 1981 and 82 and 83. There's like a constant turnover of the advertising on this bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, something like 100,000 cars drive by it every day, something ridiculous. So like, and when I did it, I think the Bridge 9 one was up for like 6 months. I mean,
Wow.
you know, it was actually pretty ridiculous.
That's awesome. And so you said that one, the second one, the Bridge 9 went up first. So let me put this back up because I want to ask you, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Was the vision of Bridge 9 and establishing Bridge 9 and getting the first Bridge 9 single out? Did that come first, or did the selling stuff at the Red Sox games? What came first?
So the label came first. Bridge 9 started in 1995. The first single came out in 1996. So it was something that was very, very grassroots. I had no money. I could only do 1 7-inch at a time, like per year. So I think, one came out in 96, one record came out in 97. I was able to get 2 records out in 98, 1 in 99, so like it was really kind of slow moving. But by 2000, I was living with 2 of the members of American Nightmare. And they were going to go into the studio. I was their roommate, had a label, so they agreed to do, their record with me. But I couldn't afford to push it. So I needed to come up with money. So at that time, friends of mine and I had realized that there was this opportunity at Fenway Park and that we could go down and sell, stuff to people leaving Red Sox games. And specifically things that riffed on the rivalry between the Yankees and Red Sox, because in 1999 going to 2000, the rivalry was just so heated. That there was a lot of opportunity.
Sure. Good question, RS. Is that bridge is that bridge in the picture is that Bridge 9? Like
no.
So where did the Bridge 9 name come from?
So originally I wanted the label to be called Bridge Records, but that was already taken. So I was going to school in Vermont and I would be driving down to Boston for shows. And on one of the highways, I think 89, there's a mile kind of marker sign for every bridge. So you know how when you're on the highway, you see like mile 8, mile 9, mile 10. Well, this highway had that for every bridge. And I saw like Bridge 10, and I saw Bridge 9. And I just, for whatever reason, number 9 is always kind of been a lucky number for me in life. So I just, I was like, what, I'm just going to add a number to Bridge and make it Bridge 9. And I also wanted a name that didn't really have any kind of meaning to it. Sure. Beyond my own personal meaning. So I just went with that.
That makes sense. And the first release on Bridge 9, was that the split 7-inch, Tenfold and Sum of All Fears?
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Tenfold were they were from my high school, friends from high school, guys that were like a couple of years younger than I was. And then Sum of All Fears were just, another local Connecticut band. They were playing shows with Tenfold. I met them through Tenfold, but the Tenfold had played shows with them. So, yeah.
And according to the book, it took you a year to recoup the $1,500.
Yeah.
That you put into that, but you did recoup it.
I did recoup it, and put out another record. I mean, my whole 30+ year career with music has just been trying to recoup whatever money I can and put it into the next thing. And then, by going to start Sully's and having that opportunity at Fenway, finding more money to do it.
Yeah. Was this the first Bridge 9 quote unquote office? Is this your bedroom?
So that was my bedroom in 1999. It wasn't the first, but it was, a very early one. So that was the house that I lived in with Wes and Tim from American Nightmare. This was in Mission Hill in Boston.
Yeah. But it's coming together.
Yeah.
The old.
You'll see. I rep New York quite a bit. Like it's not all hate. There's a lot of love.
Well, there's got to be. I mean, it's got to be. Oh, Sean McNally says regarding the bridge. Also, it's the site of America's largest regatta rowing event So 200,000 to 300,000 fans would see that also every fall. Brilliant guerrilla marketing.
Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Sean.
Yeah. Very
It's-
interesting. Very cool.
it's
And
true.
now at this time too, you also turned your attention to making small items like bumper stickers and things like that. I thought it was interesting how, you know, you went for those small items. Was there like a strategy behind that, or
Yes. So I had started kind of a side business prior to all this, where I was making subculture kind of themed bumper stickers, and I was selling them to Hot Topic. I had gone into a Hot Topic. A friend of mine, a friend Matt, worked at one. I think he was the manager, and I think I was visiting from school, and we were going to go out for dinner, and so I was waiting for him to close. And while he was dealing with the register, I was looking in the glass cases that at the
Sure.
checkout, and they had all these like dumb stickers, like black and white bold stickers that said just ridiculous things. So I don't know, I was just like, I could do this. So he looked up the buyer's phone number. I called them and said, hey, I have a sticker company. I have stickers, and can I send you some samples? And sent them, just like a bunch of random kind of subculture-y themed. I think I had a straight edge one. Like one of the first ones said, I love ska with a black and white checkered heart. Like just things that I thought people would be into at a place like Hot Topic, and they bought it. They ended up buying thousands of these stickers over the next couple of years. So I had like this thing going with Hot Topic, and after a few years, it started to slow down. I think maybe the buyer that I worked with left, or maybe they started making their own stuff and buying less. So I had this kind of infrastructure for making small items, and Fenway
a lot of them.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's a brilliant model, really, because the price point. You picture somebody's got their clothes and they're at the register, and it's like, what's another $2? It's nothing.
Yeah.
Was this buyer buying specifically for that store, or did the stuff filter into like lots of Hot Topic stores?
No, it was chain wide, and so what they would do is they would it was crazy. They would buy
what an early win,
dude. It was, and this was like an opportunity that at a scale that was new to me. So I was again making the most bare minimum wage. I think at the time was working at a video store making like, I don't know, $5 an hour, something like that. And I was getting orders from Hot Topic for like $1,800, for a sticker, for like 1,800 stickers that cost me like $200 to make. Yeah. So like I was spending $200 making, $1,700 profit from it. And that was letting me putting out that's probably the reason why I put out 2 records, in 98, because like I had this, this money that had just kind of come out of nowhere.
I think also it's sort of foreshadowing the future a little bit, because like you said, early on, you're making these stickers that are these sort of sayings. They're not infringing on anybody's copyright. You early on, it seems like you figured out how to sort of dance around things. It's foreshadowing later, doing things like Yankee Suck or The Green Monster or any of that stuff, which there was no copyright infringement there. It was sort of a saying or a thing, and you figured out early on how to stay on the peripheral and not get tagged for something like that.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of the people selling things outside of Fenway before we came on the scene were counterfeiters. They were people that were making Red Sox shirts or making things that had players' faces and things that were infringing on probably 3 different levels. And we came out with things that resonated with Red Sox fans and things that like looked like something that a Red Sox fan would want to wear and add to their wardrobe, but it wasn't something that stepped specifically on the toes of like the Red Sox.
Right. And what was the impetus or the initial, like, was it literally like hey, I could make these bumper stickers. Let me go down to Fenway this Wednesday and give it a shot, see what happens. Or was there an entree fee? Did you have buddies that were kind of doing something similar there? Or did you literally just say, I'm just going to go down there and just fucking see what's up?
So the last 10-yard fight show, it was the first Edge Day. It was 10/17/1999.
Is that picture I have?
Yeah. So that was that photo of the line. That was in October of '99, and that was the show. The 10-yard fights last show was the same day. I believe it was Game 4 of the ALCS. So it was Yankees Red Sox at Fenway Park across the street from from this show. So yeah, that line right there, that is all people waiting to get into the last 10-yard fight show. And so to commemorate 10-yard fights last show, friends of the band made things, to sell, to give away. I made a poster that had like a spray paint stencil with the date and a bunch of photos of the band on it. And a friend made a Yankee Suck t-shirt. It was just a t-shirt with the 10-yard fights initials and the date on the back of the shirt. Put Yankee Suck across the chest. And he sold them, gave them to all his friends, and then sold them at the show, and then sold some on the street and just sold out of them. And like there were other people selling Yankee Suck shirts on the street, other people before us that I think inspired him and then inspired me. And the stuff sold so quickly at that show in '99 that we're like, oh my God, like there's something bigger here. And basically we all came back in April of 2000. And just hit the ground running at Fenway.
And I think for me, this was like the most incredible, eye-opening part of the book for me, because I didn't realize how deep the Yankee Suck culture was. Like, I didn't realize like that chant broke out at every game, regardless of whether the Yankees were there, regardless of whether it was even a baseball game, regardless it was either a sports game. You said it broke out at weddings and any place that there was a gathering of a lot of Boston people.
I was just at a Danzig show a year or two ago, and there was a huge Yankee Suck chant.
It's amazing.
Click that.
That was really funny. Had no idea.
Yeah.
You know what I find like really amazing. Let me. Yeah, I'm gonna find. Yeah. This is a good one.
That's right, Ray. It's kind of like Potvin Sucks, right?
Yeah, it's kind of. What's really amazing, Chris, is that initially all you sold was these bumper stickers, right? Yeah. I mean, $2 each, Yankee Sucks bumper stickers, and you're out there just selling bumper stickers.
Yeah.
And the fact that you did pretty decent doing it and enabled you to get a couple other guys involved and keep moving forward. Fucking bumper stickers, man.
Dude, so the bumper stickers, I think, they were $2 each, 3 for $5. They cost me like 10 cents each to make. So the margin was awesome, and it allowed me to hire. So basically I went out there first, probably the first day by myself, brought in, a couple friends. By the end of the first year, I probably had 5 people that would be selling these for me on every corner around the stadium. So like basically just give people, 100 stickers, and they kept, like a third of whatever they made. So, it was awesome.
You just kind of figure.
Michelle says that living in Boston, people's cars were getting tagged with these things.
People would buy them, and Yankees fans would buy them as a gag gift. Just to mess with their friends.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah,
that was brilliant marketing. Because like I said, you're coming out of the stadium, you just spent how much money on beer, how much money on whatever food, and then just the ticket alone. But for $2, why not? It's nothing.
Yeah, and I mean, now people don't have. There's no you don't have to do it right away. I mean, you can just go order it online or get it off Amazon or whatever. But back then, there was no easy way to get it, so you had to buy it right there.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I mean, And this is early on in the game, right? These guys are just selling bumper stickers, right?
This is summer of 2000.
Wow.
Pretty incredible.
Yeah.
And one thing that I think we need to emphasize is timing is a great part of this thing, because it's around this time that the Red Sox are coming out of the slumber, the curse of the Bambino, whatever. The Red Sox are starting to get better and win and ramp it up. And after every year there's more and more excitement and momentum. So, because I remember when I was in Boston in the early 80s, I mean, the Red Sox, there was a couple of real lean years there.
Yeah. And there has been since, it was a good moment to be in.
Yeah. And is this kind of you and your team?
So yeah, that was all the vendors and friends. There's probably half the people in that photo were people that actually sold stuff outside of Fenway, and the rest were just friends that would hang out, because we would have a dozen or so people selling stuff, but if this was like a Saturday or a Sunday afternoon, people would come, like friends and people that were into like hardcore and punk that lived in the area would just naturally kind of end up at Fenway just to hang out. So, like we'd be selling on the sidewalk or like in the street as people were walking through. And then all of our friends would be sitting on that bridge, kind of like, kind of support right there and just hanging.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Now in the book, you guys are all starting to make a lot of money. Yeah. Right. And your friends are, you're investing in your business, and your friends are investing in themselves, right? That must have taken a lot of discipline for you. Like, where did that discipline come from to not want to, kind of have a little fun with it?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I've never, probably to my, I've never really been one to just like spend money on myself. Okay. And I don't know, for no reason. I've never been particularly flashy. So, friends of mine, from that group back then, it was funny. I mean, they were all wearing like these big silver necklaces and, going to nightclubs and like, getting really, they were living large. I mean, and you know what, if this was found money to all of us, really, I mean, it was just like, I joke and call it like a money tree, like, oh, I need to go pay for something. Let's go to Fenway and shake the tree. But again, to put it into perspective, I mean, at the time I was working at Tower Records, I was maybe clearing $350 every 2 weeks, as an art. I was in the art department, like, doing the window displays and stuff. And so I was actually making more than, probably $1 more than the people that were like working the floor, but it wasn't much. And I have
to say, people like Cindy Allard.
Absolutely. I remember Cindy was there at the time.
Tower Records. Yep.
With
you.
And we, it was the opportunity at Fenway. I mean, that first day I made like over $400, in an hour and a half, so that was a very eye-opening, like, holy crap, this is real. And I get to do it again tomorrow. And, the day after that, and, oh wait, there's going to be a 10-game homestand, in 2 weeks.
Yeah. I found the discipline very impressive,
Ray Hogan asks, I mean, you were sober from a very young age, right?
Yeah, so I claimed straight edge when I was 18.
Do you think that played into sort of this situation, the discipline of doing this? Yeah.
I think it did. Yeah, I think it did. I had a lot of friends back then that, I mean, they made a lot of bad choices and pissed away money and opportunities because of, whatever stuff that they were into. So I think being straight edge, especially during those early years, was helpful.
Sure. Sean McNally says, sometimes there were also hardcore matinees at the Rat, which spilled right out into Kenmore Square, so you couldn't avoid seeing all the merch there.
Yeah, well, so the Rat is right on the walking path between the subway station and Fenway Park. So, I mean, people would be going back and forth in that area to and from games.
I want to ask you about sort of this photo here, and this will head us in an interesting direction. Like, what's going on in this photo?
So that is a photo of Max Powers. He's in the American Nightmare sweatshirt. He was, part of our crew back then, and a good friend. And he is standing next to all the gentlemen to his left are code enforcement police officers. We refer to them as the Codies. They were the law enforcement, I guess, for the city of Boston that were hired by the Red Sox. They had a contract with the Red Sox to basically keep unpermitted vendors away from the park. So they were basically, there was kind of like a cops and robbers kind of dynamic between us and them for many years. But they were hired to keep vendors away from the stadium.
And in order to vend back then, did you have to have like a vendor's license?
Yeah, so we ended up getting hawker and peddler licenses. They're the kind of license that allow you to go door to door and sell things in a city. It's a state permit. Every city has like its own parameters that you can kind of operate within. In Boston, you can only use them after 8 at night because the whole downtown is blacked out because they don't want street peddlers to be competing with brick and mortar stores. So early on, when we would go down there, and we didn't have these permits, and we would be there daytime, nighttime, whenever there was an opportunity to sell. But as we started clashing with the code enforcement, I ended up learning about these permits, and it at least protected us from them after 8 p.m. So we kind of at some point
after 8 p.m. What if it was a day? What if it was a day game?
So if it was a day game, it was you just chanced it. We would go down and basically run around the park and just try and sell where we could. We would hire people to follow the code enforcement police to and we all had radios to kind of radio in there, where they were. So it was, again, the money was so good that if you missed a game, you might lose $500, $1,000. These were things that we couldn't, you couldn't lose. So we had to do whatever we had to do.
It sounds like you're running a drug empire.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're running drugs in the street. And is this a map that you put together to give to your people? No.
So that was a map that the city made, I think in the late 70s. And it's been photocopied 100 times. But that's what they gave us when you got your permit. And it basically said, anything within these black lines is not, you can't sell before 8 p.m. So I could sell at 2 a.m. if I wanted to, which is ridiculous. But that was kind of the framework that we had to work within.
Sounds like one of those really archaic laws, like New York had the cabaret law. You can't dance from 1875. And it's what the fuck? And that put Coney Island High, Jesse's Place, Coney Island High out of business. There was a cabaret law. It sounds like what? No vending, till 8 p.m. What?
Yeah.
Well, so apparently, and probably in the 80s, this was probably when it was happening the most. Fenway had people selling hot dogs out of their cars. I mean, there was people everywhere selling stuff. And so this was the city's attempt to try and kind of rein that in.
When I
in the car dogs.
Yo, I got it. Let me get 3 of those. Hey, you just reminded me of something. When I went to Boston in 1981, and I think as soon as I got there, somehow I got roped into being a pretzel vendor at the Boston Garden.
Okay.
And we'd go down there, and they had these this one disgusting garage that had all these shopping carts with charcoal, and some really bad screen that you put the bread. And we'd go out to the Celtic games and to the Bruin games, and I was hawking pretzels out there for a couple bucks a night.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, at Fenway, you've got 38,000 people. I mean, that's a
Yeah.
lot of
It's
people.
a lot of people.
And a lot of people back then that hated the Yankees. And, you know, at the Garden, I mean, what was that, like 18,000 people or something?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, that's a lot of people that want pretzels. So, you know, you go where the opportunity is.
No, it was also, it didn't last long for me because basically people coming out of Bruin games were like hammered and like they were hammered and potentially were looking for violence. And like, it was just, why put yourself in a situation like that night after night? It just, it got old really fast.
No, look, as somebody that worked a lot of Garden games, you know, you saw it all.
It was, I saw, it got old fast. You know?
And it's always easy to make a sale too when people are drunk.
Yeah.
Right.
I know that from my craft shows. Whenever there's alcohol served there, I'm like, oh, okay, well, you know, it's going to be easy.
It sucks, man. It's it's usually a recipe for friggin' disaster.
It is though.
It's like, you know what it's like? It's like doing Chris, it's like doing these shows that me and Larry do, these free all ages Sunday matinees. The reason we're allowed to do them is because people frequent the bar. So on one hand, it's like, hey, go to the bar and get a drink. On the other hand, don't get too fucked up and don't cause problems. So it's a fine line. It's like, drink. We, you know, give the place business. And on the other hand, he drank too much.
Yeah.
Throw him out.
Yeah. And meanwhile, all three of us, neither one of us drinks. So
it's a fine line.
Yeah.
We want you to drink. Fucking get stupid.
Yeah.
Don't get stupid, please. Here's another show. I guess this feels like it's later on, right?
So this would have been 2003.
Yeah.
That actually, I have the front of that shirt. Lori, you will like this. Can you see that?
Oh. Okay.
This may have been our best-selling shirt of 2003.
Wow.
Because that's something we always say. Well, you know, we got our 26 rings.
That's it. You know, like you hear that enough times, you know, from Yankees fans coming out of Fenway, and you finally make a T-shirt about it.
Yeah.
And I got to shout out Ray Hogan, 100%. Ray Hogan's a big part of it too. It's really Ray Hogan, Larry Kelly, me, Eddie the sound man. Yeah, all a big part of it. Ray's the best part of the production team. That's right.
It's great.
So as things are kind of, we're gonna go back and forth, Chris. Who was? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this properly, but I know who was Ramameo.
Ramameo, yeah.
Yeah, who was Ramameo? Big Wheel Recreation, and why was he such an important part of the early Bridge 9 record story?
So Rama was a friend of friends. When I lived in Mission Hill, he had an indie label called Big Wheel, and Big Wheel was in the late 90s like the coolest, you know, not so much a hardcore label, not so much a punk label, like a mix of everything. He had punk, indie, hardcore. You know, he put out the first 10-Yard Fight 7-inch, but he also put out records with Jimmy Eat World and Jay June, and you know, it was really just an interesting guy that was involved in so many things on the DIY level. I mean, he would be screen printing T-shirts for bands in his loft apartment, putting out their records. So he was somebody that was doing it, you know, and at a pretty big level, at least from my perspective. Sure. So when I was trying to figure things out, and I had this opportunity that, you know, to work with American Nightmare, but I needed guidance because I really, again, I didn't know what I was doing as a label. I'm just figuring things out as I go along. As pretty much the case with anybody that has an indie label, you just try and do your best, you know, do whatever you can, and then find people that have done it before you or done it better, and pick their brain and learn from them. And so I had an opportunity to work with Rama. Probably, I think he hired me in like 2000. So I worked with him for about a year, and then stayed in a space that his label was in We had an office called Initech, and it was like the Big Wheel and Hide Your Head office, and there was a booking agency called the Kenmore Agency. So we all kind of collectively shared a space. Yeah, so that's a photo of the Initech office, probably around 2002. So that in that picture we have, Matt Galley on the left. He does all the like tour booking for My Chemical Romance. The guy in the piebald shirt, he was a Northeastern college student that was helping run Big Wheel after I had left, from the employment of Big Wheel, and was just kind of at that point just an office, like, kind of co-renter. The woman in the center, Jen Malone, she's a music, like she places music in film and TV, and has been very, very successful. She did like all the music for Euphoria and Yellow Jackets, so she's been doing great work. Matt Pike on the right in that photo, he ran the Kenmore Agency with Matt Galley. He sang in the band Some Kind of Hate on Bridge 9, and it's just been a long time friend.
Wow. So this is.
I really love this part of the book. I really love this part of the book when this, what is it? Initech came together.
Initech, yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. It's just the idea of all these young, creative people coming together and working in the same space on their own things, but inspiring and, each other. So, and learning from each other. I was really excited about this when I got to this part of the book.
It was such an important time for me too, because, like in an era now where everyone wants to work from home, that at that point we were all working in this little office together, and it was important because when you are, when you have this personal connection in real life with somebody, and you have this kind of networking relationship, you're going to meet people, you're going to have doors open for you, you're going to open doors for other people in a way that you have to have that personal connection. So for me, it was awesome because, as labels, we didn't really overlap much. We weren't competing with each other, right? So I was the hardcore label, at the time with Big Wheel, they were a lot more of an indie label. Hide Your Head is kind of more of a metal label and kind of a chaotic metal label.
Yes.
So it was cool because we were all ordering records from the same pressing plants. We were putting ads in a lot of the same magazines, ordering promotional items like, oh, we need posters. Well, oh, hey, I order posters from this place, use them. Or, oh, I need stickers. Where should I go? Oh, I've been using this guy for years. Yeah. So it was a really, really good opportunity for us to share resources.
Yeah.
And I quote in the book, you say, I credit my time among that group of people as part of the education I needed.
Yeah. Because again, there is, at least at the time, there was no formal education for how to do any of this. So you really had to find people that had tried and succeeded and learn from them.
Is that Initech from Office Space?
It was directly inspired by Office Space. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I love that too.
Before we got to take a break, but I just want to say, everybody out there, the book is Fenway Punk, How a Boston Indie Label Scored Big on Baseball's Biggest Rivalry. It can be purchased. There is the QR code. It can also be purchased here at where else but www.chriswrenn.com. And it's a fabulous book. It's really great. Really enjoyed it. So
yeah.
Everybody pick up your communication devices, type that in, pick up this book. It's a great read. Not just if you're a punk rock hardcore person, or if you're a sports person, but it's just a great story of really a great DIY story. And we love that. Is that right? Amazon in the UK and already available for Kindle, right?
Nice.
That said, let's take a sponsor break at the hour mark. We got lots more to go, and we'll come back and we'll keep running at it. See you in a couple minutes, Chris.
Cool. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
There's the QR code. Buy the book, you bums.
Yeah, and it is available on Kindle. That's where I got it.
Yeah.
Really quick. Didn't have to wait for it. Click the button. I read it in 2 days.
Yeah, it's a good read, man.
I didn't want to put it down.
It's a good read, and a lot of the photos that we're looking at today are photos that Chris sent me.
Yeah, and that's why I would recommend waiting for the book, because with the Kindle they don't show. You wait all the way to the end, and then there's like the pictures, and then you got to figure out where they are.
Is that what happens with the Kindle?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So
I did not know that, because I'm old school. Like, get off my lawn. I want to read a book. Like Kindle.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do a sponsor break, and I'll see you in a minute.
Okay.
That's right. It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, episode 417. Our guest today is Chris Wrenn, Bridge 9 Records, author of Fenway Punk, How a Boston Indie Label Scored Big on Baseball's Greatest Rivalry. Let's do some sponsor stuff, and we'll come back and we'll run at it some more.
Since 1992, Generation Records has been a mainstay of the New York metropolitan area music scene. Today, they offer a diverse selection of new and used rock, jazz, indie, hip-hop, punk, hardcore, metal, blues, soundtrack, and reggae LPs, as well as t-shirts, posters, and other merchandise. They buy used record collections and music memorabilia and will pay you top dollar for them. House calls made for large collections in the tri-state area. Call or email generationrecords@gmail.com and follow them on Facebook and Instagram.
Will that be cash or in debt?
Do you mean debit?
Yes. Sorry. Another eternally satisfied customer.
Yo, what's happening? I'm out here at one of our all-ages Sunday matinees on the Bowery. I hope that you are enjoying today's show. I just want to let you know that the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live needs your support. Please step up. There is a Patreon page that has a lot of unique program. Shows are announced there first. Lots of good stuff. There's a PayPal address right there on the screen if you want to make a contribution. There's also a super chat function. You could do that, but the bottom line is this show exists because of your support. We're going to be doing it for a long, long time. Thank you for all your support through the years. Back to the show.
Conditioned by indoctrination, conditioned by society. You're a victim of the digital age, a 21st century casualty. Open your eyes, you're losing control. Open your eyes, put down the phone. Conditioned by misinformation, it's just the media telling us lies. Decipher fiction from the truth, society's slow and tragic demise. Open your eyes, you're losing control. Open your eyes, put down the phone. Everyone's got their fucking...
And we're back. What's up? Part 2, the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. Want to mention upcoming shows. 1 week from today, the Hank's Saloon documentary featuring the director Leon Chase, Ben Howard Smith of the Brotlow, and our good friend Lee Greenfeld of Dead Flowers Productions. Always love talking about independent documentaries with directors. This is going to be a good one. Hank's Saloon, infamous, beloved Brooklyn venue that closed a couple years ago. Sunday, March 8th, Steve Blush, another book he'll be on. He actually just sent it to me the other day, When Rock Met Hip Hop, Sunday, March 8th. Wednesday, March 11th, the longest tenured Guns N' Roses drummer, Frank Farrar, who's been in a bunch of other bands, including the Psychedelic Furs, will be on. Wednesday, March 18th, a bonus episode. We're fitting this one in. Celebrating is the Agnostic Front Echoes in Eternity. album breakdown with Vinny Stigma, the godfather of New York hardcore, Mike Gallo, and producer Mike DeJean. Sunday, March 22nd, celebrating 40 years of Descendants, I Don't Want to Grow Up, is Bill Stevenson. Descendants, All, Black Flag, and Flag. Sunday, March 29th, co-hosted by Lori Dawn. Dee Verney of Overkill will be on the show. Woo! Sunday, April 5th, Brian Fair of Shadows Fall. And I promise we will not just talk about the Grateful Dead. Wednesday, April 15th, another music doc, the Something Better Change, Joey DOA, directed by Scott Crawford, and our old friend Paul Rackman. That's Wednesday, April 15th. Wayne from Hatebreed, Sunday, April 19th. Yo, this isn't announced yet, but I'm letting you know here. Wednesday, April 29th, Curse Mackey, co-hosted by Joel Gouston of Evil Mother's Pigface, My Life with the Thrill Kill Cult, Grim Fairies. He's also the author of the Sound Philosophy and Artist Survival Guide. This one should be very interesting. Looking forward to having Joel come back on and co-host. This isn't announced yet either. We're trying to sort this out. The Incendiary Device record's coming out a couple days before this. We're going to do a Wednesday show. We're going to break down the new Incendiary Device record, New York City. Want to thank everybody out there that is a patron. There is the QR code. Please support the show. The show needs your support. There it is right there. Please be a patron. There's a PayPal address to make a contribution. Do a super chat function. Support the show. That said, also, please support, follow on Instagram. Pick up your communication device at Stone Films NYC. Pick it up. Give the show a like. Give the show a heart. Bend over and do that. That said, you think that's funny? Oh, you think that's
No,
funny.
I don't.
Get off your ass and like the show. That's it. You friggin'. That's it. We're good. Let's bring our guest back on. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, from Beverly, Mass, coming from Bridge 9 Records in Beverly, Mass.
What's up, crew?
Mr. Chris Wrenn.
Thank you. Actually, before we get started, Lori, I had told you that I didn't really spend a lot of money on myself back then, but I did buy something that I was pretty excited about in the summer of 2000.
Okay.
That I still have.
Wow.
I paid $400 for this beauty in the summer of 2000.
Wow.
This was a day's pay back then.
Wow. Okay.
So
Love it. Love it.
Good purchase.
So you did treat yourself.
I did.
Yeah. That's great.
I want to touch on American Nightmare real quick, and I quote regarding American Nightmare from the book. I took a band with a lot of hype, added a distribution deal that put the release in stores across the country, and received personal guidance from the head of one of Boston's most popular indie labels, all the while funding it with a seemingly unlimited amount of cash diverted from sports fans. That was the recipe for my early success.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if any one of those things was missing, it probably would have been a lot harder. I was lucky that I was kind of at that intersection of having guidance, money, a band that was really deserving of the hype. And a distribution deal that actually got the record into stores, because prior to that, I mean, it was all consignment. My records for Bridge 9 releases, they were in only a patchwork of stores. So, if you were in Ohio, you weren't going to find any of my records at the time. So, working with, I was working with Lumberjack Distribution. They were getting our stuff in stores, and they were representing Big Wheel. So like when I started working with Big Wheel, I got in with them.
Was that sort of a watershed point for a moment for Bridge 9 with the success of that band?
Yeah, I mean that was the first band. I mean, right prior to that record, we did a split record with Right Brigade, and another band called A Poor Excuse from Boston. And there was a lot of interest and hype in Right Brigade, so that got people talking, but they didn't do a lot as a band. So American Nightmare was the first band that really was just hit the ground running, was willing to tour wherever. For me, they were the first band to go to the West Coast, the first band to go to Europe. So it was the first band that really kind of like helped me wave the Bridge 9 flag in other places.
I know that I was sort of taken aback to see this shot, which is a young Chris Wrenn going airborne at a slap shot show in Europe. Is that right?
No. So that's Converge at Hellfest.
Okay, Converge at Hellfest. Okay, yeah. And I know you mentioned in the book Slapshot going to Europe, and that helped get a foothold in Europe.
Yeah, so I went with Slapshot in 2002. I did their greatest hits record. I did like a US version of that because it had come out prior to me working with them in Europe. And then I went back with them in 2005. So, but they were I went first with American Nightmare, and I started working with Reflections Records in Holland. But Slapshot they were and have always been just a force in Europe. So it definitely helped open doors.
Yeah, Slapshot, they grinded with MAD over there and put in work.
Yeah.
Say what you will or what you want about Jack Cho Kelly, but that guy really had and probably still has a great work ethic. They really worked hard. That band worked hard. They toured a lot, and they were pretty groundbreaking. I guess in a lot of ways they were like the first kind of Boston hardcore band of that older era to really go over there and extensively play. I mean, SSD Control never did. Gangrene, I mean, maybe later as a skate kind of band, but Jerry's Kids, FUs, but they got into the nooks and crannies over there.
Yeah.
They really took a run at it. What was the turning point with actually what was Sully's? Oh wait, I got something great. Hold on. Wait, this is great. This friggin' ad made me laugh out loud. This one is great. Check out this ad here. I love the Sully's in the middle of the page. You see the Sully's Teas ad right above the sperm donors needed, and below the vinyl window rep. And I guess this is like this is what is this in the Boston? What is this?
So that was it was like a free weekly newspaper that was in Boston. I think it was a competitor of the Phoenix at the time, but it's hard to see, but that says Yankee Hater, and it has some of our more popular t-shirt designs, probably circa 2003. So, but yeah, I mean, I was advertising in the newspaper, and doing commercials on radio and TV. I mean, so it really grew into something much bigger than just a street vending operation, and in the years after.
So I'm assuming there came a point where you sort of had to form a company and go a little bit legit. Explain what Sully's was, and what is Sully's?
So Sully's, so for the first few years, it was just an opportunity to make money. So there was no real branding. We were just known as like the Yankee Sucks guys or the Yankee Hater guys. And it was everything riffed on the rivalry. But as in the months after 9/11, obviously we had to kind of switch gears a little bit, because there was a brief time where hating on New York universally was, and understandably not cool. So started to have to kind of mix things up a little bit. And that was the
9/11.
Yeah.
because of not.
Thanks for giving us a break for.
I mean, think about it. Like,
what was the break like? Like fucking
It only
3
took-
months.
Right. It only took like a massive,
well,
for people to like
I
us.
made things like this.
Yes.
That's right.
That's
cool.
beautiful.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
great.
So as I looked to kind of, do more things beyond just being like the anti-Yankees guy, I wanted to come up with a brand name. And now speaking, even before that, I realized pretty quickly outside of Fenway that this was like a better business. Like I started this little side hustle was actually a better opportunity than the label I was using the money to fund. So I realized after a couple of years, like this is its own thing. It's not just an opportunity to make money for the label. This is like its own opportunity.
Sure.
So I wanted to come up with a name that was very Boston, that was like everybody knows a Sully, I mentioned in the book, and I don't know if I'll get any pushback for this or flack for it, but we would call the really drunk and disorderly fans Sullys. And it just at the time. And
What's that from? Sullen? What is it?
So it's riffing off the name Sullivan. It's like there's a lot of people that are, everybody knows a Sullivan that goes by the nickname Sully. So it's like a familiar thing. So, so we are in the early kind of 2000s would, if somebody was like, really belligerent, we'd maybe, say, hey, I got hassled by a couple Sullys. And again, this was a time and place that was at that time. But it was a familiar thing. And so, because we were making, and I mentioned in the book, we were making very belligerent t-shirts. Let's just call it Sully's.
Yeah. I love it.
That's great.
Yeah.
Have you seen your hardcore Legends trading card?
I have.
Have you seen, I don't know if this has been updated. Have you seen this one?
No, I have not.
There you go.
Look at that. So that's at a Target store where we have Sully's has its own section.
So I remember this. We've been friends now for a while. This was a really great moment for you when things when Sully's ended up in Target. But I think there was a great turn where things went from went positive. And tell us about Believe in Boston and sort of how that got some momentum. Yeah.
So Believe in Boston was a slogan that I trademarked in 2004, in March of 2004. So it was before the Red Sox had lost in like very dramatic fashion months earlier, when Aaron Boone, hit the home run in the ALCS in 2003. And, so Red Sox fans were down, but this was an opportunity to say, hey, like, just believe in Boston, don't lose the faith. So as I started to make more things that were more positive, I kind of, after 3 years of selling really negative anti-New York t-shirts and stickers, I was like, all right, I do need to evolve from this. So I started trying to focus on what made Boston great, and focus less on rivals.
Yeah. Yeah. And kind of going back to that, how can I sort of create a catchphrase and market it. Here's the back of your card, by the way. A lot going on there, man. Jesus.
Wow.
That's like the most information I've ever seen on the card. Yeah.
Oh, he's got the Lego. Let's go.
Yeah.
He sent me that, and I was like, and I wanted to play it to open the show, but I've been having problems like getting like the feed shut down because the bots catch everything now. Even when you play a video without audio, it gets caught. So I didn't want to shut the feed down. Ray, are you asking when did Chris and I meet, or did me and Lori, or Lori and Chris? What? Be a little more specific, my friend. So that said, I think another really big moment was when this guy kind of turned up wearing your gear constantly.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So that photo was taken in 2004. And it was in like the Boston Herald newspaper. It was in People magazine. It was pretty cool. So that t-shirt, you can't really read it, but it says "Killin' with Shillin'." It was a t-shirt that we made for Kurt Schilling in, I think, 2004. I think it might have been like I know that we started selling those before he even pitched. And I think I mentioned in the book, we sold like 2,000 of those t-shirts before he even pitched, for the Red Sox. There was that much hype.
Wow.
So, but his number's 38. So we were riffing on like, that's a silhouette of a 38, revolver.
And also with him, wasn't he wearing one of your shirts in was it a Dunkin' Donuts commercial, or he got you guys involved or something?
So the story is, that was just a kind of a random, like he popped up wearing one of our shirts back in 2004. But when he did that movie, The Town,
right,
we ended up, the costume department reached out to me and said, "Hey, we bought a couple of your t-shirts at Newbury Comics and we want to include them in this film. Would you sign off on it?" So I said, "Hey, I'll sign off on it, but like, take a look at our website. We have a ton of stuff that might be a good fit for you." And they ended up giving us like a 4-page handwritten, like faxed note of all the things that they wanted. So we ended up having a bunch of stuff in that movie. And it was awesome. It was very, very cool.
Yeah.
He wore a Believe in Boston shirt in one of the scenes, and Jeremy Renner had one of our shirts in another scene. So it was like Christmas.
Yeah. And there was just this great run when not only were the Red Sox winning, but the Celtics were winning, the Patriots were winning, the Bruins were winning. So there was some. Yeah. You had some real glory. You had some real glory years there.
Yeah, I mean, we joke, had we started in the 90s, we would have been out of business in 2 years.
Yeah,
sure.
But had all the championships, all the parades, all the opportunities. Yeah. I mean, people were just, there's a lot of bandwagon fans, but there was a lot of people that were excited about Boston winning.
Larry Kelly's asking, tell the B9 filming story. You have time? Give the short version.
Oh, so I think he's talking about Ben Affleck and. Yeah. So when we moved to Beverly, so we have our record store at our warehouse and performance space here. When we moved into this space, we ended up getting a phone call from a location scout for the movie, The Tender Bar, and they wanted to rent our building because they were filming next door. So like, when I committed to this space, it was like the biggest thing I'd ever done. So, it was nerve-wracking. And the day after I moved in, I got a phone call saying like a Ben Affleck film wants to like rent your space. So, it was awesome. Like, they ended up turning our building, which we hadn't even started renovating yet, into a like a photo developing studio from the 70s.
Wow.
And our building is right next door to this small bar that was the Tender Bar. It was like the Jacob's Corner is the name of the bar, but it's like it was a bar in this movie, and they looked at like, I don't know, 30 bars in Massachusetts for this film, and they chose the one next to us. So like, it was wild. It felt like the universe saying like, you guys are going in the right direction.
That's a great one. And our old friend and supporter Nancy Burrell asks, tell the story about the mayor telling you to stop selling shirts. Yeah. I want to hear that one. Stop selling shirts.
So that's specifically that T-shirt that Ben Affleck was wearing. It was one of our most popular shirts at the time, but it had a handgun on it. Yeah. And the mayor got really upset that people were selling T-shirts with handguns on them.
I can kind of see that.
Yeah. So, and I mean, it's understandable. And so in the book, I talk about how the head of the code enforcement police, who I had started to develop like a rapport with.
Is that Tiger?
That's Tiger. He basically came to me and said, "Hey, the mayor wants you to pull this shirt." And I was like, cool, that it's gone. So we ended up pulling it off the street. I mean, we still sold it through Newberry Comics and you know, online and stuff, but we stopped selling it on the street. And because of that, you know, that rule, like, so those permits that we were talking about, the hawker and peddler permit,
Yeah.
those you have to, you're supposed to move after every sale. So like, you don't just set up like a booth or like a spot, like it's like a door-to-door kind of permit. So, you know, we would use those to sell, but and it would keep the code enforcement police from like not letting us sell, but they would enforce it to the letter of the law. So they would make us keep moving, which was really difficult. Like, it made things difficult. So
it sounds like I said before, so archaic. You have to move. Like what? Move a couple inches, move a foot. Like, what do you mean move? Move what? Move over here and then move back over there. It's like comical.
Yeah. I mean, it was basically that. We would have, when they would enforce it, you would have these people with these like carts that would be like shifting these like 6 foot wide, 8 foot tall carts with t-shirts like kind of hanging off of them, you know, in every direction. It ended up becoming like more dangerous, I think, that we had to move. But the mayor said to Tiger, he's like, you know, to thank him for being cool, for pulling the shirt, let them not move. So like, if they don't want to move, they can stay put.
Let me ask you,
that was very cool.
What is the difference between a hawker and a peddler?
Dude, I have no idea. And I thought peddler was spelled with 2 Ds. So I don't know. That might be some
like
1600s, you know.
Like a hawker to me is like somebody that's like in front of the circus, like going, come on in, you know, like you're a hawker. Maybe
if you look up the word hawker, it's basically somebody that shouts. And we would have code enforcement that would like tell us to like be quiet. And like, look, I have this permit tells me to yell, you know, and I'm next door to a stadium with 38,000 people that are shouting their heads off. So like, I don't know what the problem is.
You know, years ago when we came up, you know, when Bridge 9 put out the antidote, No Peace in Our Time, we came to the office, and here's a shot from the office that day. One of the great ones. and there was all you had, and there's all the stickers. Look at the stickers behind me. Well, no, those are band stickers. That's Have Heart.
Those are ceremony.
Yeah. That was So that's when you were deep.
Well, it's funny because I would make something as a sticker or a T-shirt. But if it sold well, like Green Monster, that is my best-selling T-shirt of all time. Like, I mean, it's so dumb, but it is the most popular shirt we've ever made. And so I would make something, I'd sell it as a sticker, as a T-shirt, a tote bag. Then like, oh, let's make it as an air freshener. Let's make it as a magnet. Let's make it as a poster. Let's make it as a flag. I mean, like Green Monster and Yankee Suck. I mean, I probably had 20 different things that said that.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Look at patches. Look at Yankees Suck patches.
Yeah, those were from, you know, the summer of 2000.
Yeah.
You know, you seem to have this like just this intuitive marketing know-how that you come up with things that really resonate with people. It's a talent. It's something that you can't really teach in a marketing class or in schools. Where does that come from?
I don't know. You know, I've always made things that I think I just have recognized things that people want. Or not always. I mean, you know, I don't bat 1,000. I mean,
has anything ever fallen flat when you thought, oh, this is a really great idea, but then
Yeah, so there is actually one story in the book where I talked about, you know, so we were looking for opportunities, any opportunity to make money at Fenway. And in, I think, 2003, the owners of Fenway Park decided to start holding concerts there. Prior to that, there had been no live music at Fenway Park. Now it's like a thing, and like they have like these big concerts. And but at the time, it was a new thing. And I remember Jimmy Buffett was playing at Fenway Park, and you know, code enforcement wasn't going to be there as far as we knew. And it was like, because it wasn't a game, and it was, you know, we're like, let's just go down there and make a Jimmy Buffett T-shirt, or like something that Jimmy Buffett fans would want. And I roll down there with like this bootleg looking one color red ink on a white t-shirt, like, you know, Buffett kind of like, but in the Red Sox font, you know, t-shirt.
Yeah.
And I set up on the bridge. I'm like, all right, I'm going to make some money, you know, right now when, you know, otherwise the team is out of town. And these professional counterfeiters just overran us. I mean, these guys probably, I think they're from New York, came with like these like tie-dyed t-shirts with like full color, you know, like 17 color screen printed shirts of like, you know, the Fenway Park, like monster wall with, you know, parrots all over it. Looked like something that they're probably selling inside the stadium. And I don't think we made $1 that day. So
it was the tie-dye. It was the tie-dye because they didn't put anything on that but that tie-dye. Yeah.
How does something like that, obviously they have product for like that specific city. So somebody is screening hundreds and hundreds of shirts for that specific city. Not even like they can sell those at the next city.
Yeah. I have no idea, but they were operating at a level that was so much more advanced than I was at the time. So
that was probably the crew that just they all probably get printed here in New York. They're all in a cube truck and they're traveling and following Jimmy Buffett from city to city, right? Probably wasn't even Boston guys, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, they definitely weren't Boston guys. And I remember we'd always hear about the guys from New York that would come up and sell counterfeit shirts.
Yeah. That's what they knew. Yeah.
Assassins. Bootlegging merch is big business in the constituency. I wonder, is bootlegging merch as big now as it used to be?
It might be. I mean, I know bands that we've worked with and bands that I know, like when they tour, I mean, they're dealing with counterfeiters and it's a lot of times tied in with organized crime and there's not a lot you can do about it.
Yeah. I think my probably most severe experience was going to Europe in '93 with Biohazard when they were like, every night was like New Year's Eve. Every night was just sold out and bananas. And there was people outside every venue every night selling bootleg Biohazard shit. And it was like, and then sometimes even when we would go to one of these cities, we'd go to sort of down to the St. Mark's or whatever, and we go into some of these stores and there'd be bootleg Biohazard stuff in there. It's like, where's this stuff coming from? So it was out there. Hey, how does could you tell us about Have Heart and how they play into the Bridge 9 game?
Yeah. So, you know, Have Heart started as a band in 2002. It was, you know, right when Bridge 9 was, you know, really kind of getting our legs and we were working with so many bands. They weren't really we didn't start working with them until I think around 2005. After they put out their first EP and they were starting to get some traction. But yeah, they were just the next wave, you know, of Boston hardcore.
And is this one of the recent?
So these are from what was at the time their final show in 2009.
Okay.
So. But that show was on Edge Day. It was on October 17th, and it was 10 years to the day after 10 Yard Fight's last show.
Yeah, somebody asked earlier on, and I think I'm going to ask it for those who may not know, what is Edge Day and why is it on that particular day?
So Edge Day is considered like the day to kind of acknowledge and commemorate straight edge. It was a tongue-in-cheek thing at the time. Sweet Pete from In My Eyes is the one that announced on stage because In My Eyes was one of the supporting bands for 10 Yard Fight for their last show. So he said, today's Edge Day because 10 Yard Fight was a big Boston straight edge band. So he said with 10 Yard Fight basically breaking up, we're going to commemorate that and make this straight edge day. And it was something that was kind of maybe just said in tongue in cheek and fun at the time, but now 26 years later, it's like an internationally recognized thing.
That's pretty cool. It's amazing how things like that from humble beginnings and people, the whole straight edge thing is pretty mind blowing to me, having been around very early on and saw, oh, that's a song on the new Minor Threat 7-inch.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That was all right. And to see how people have taken that song, that ethos, that lifestyle, and have just built on it. Really incredible to see in my lifetime. Really awesome. Really great.
Another highlight of the book for me was, of course, the 2024 championship. And that moment in the book, and it was kind of like, you ever see that movie, Fever Pitch? I felt like
you're talking about the 2004 championship?
Yeah. Of course, for me, it was, traumatizing, but the comeback. But that moment that was happening outside of the stadium, that was even more important, when people came out realizing, the Yankees do suck.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough not being able to win a game 4 straight, like with the Red Sox being down by 3-0. That was
they came back, something that no team has ever done before in the postseason, right? And they really stomped over the Yankees, and just like that moment must have been so exciting.
Yeah, it was, especially with the year before. I mentioned the Aaron Boone home run.
Yes.
The Red Sox have come so close over the years, and then it just falls apart. And so to be, I think, that was Game 7 of the ALCS in 2003. To have it just get like torn away from you when you have the Yankees get that home run. So to come back the following year and win it all was amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I've never recovered from that.
I know, me neither. I mean,
to this day, I wasn't living in New York at the time. I was living in Vermont, and
I was in Montreal.
It was my only thread to humanity, to New York City, and the Yankees were just beating the Red Sox ass, and the whole thing just fell apart. And then when you start losing, you just get this feeling like you're cursed. It just went bad, and it didn't stop going bad until it was over.
We weren't used to that kind of thing. Like, we were used to being that team that came back. Like, it was a bad
nightmare.
And now it's just like, oh my God, this is what other people feel like when their team sucks.
It was a bad nightmare.
It was a humbling moment. I became a better person.
Well, never recover. My soul was crushed by that. I was living in some Mickey Mouse town out in Vermont. It was my only thread to humanity, and I was just crushed into the dirt.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. We finally realized what that felt like. So
Sean, it was awesome.
But
Vermont's in the it was, because I was in this little town, and I used to go down it was the one semblance of humanity that I had, and it just I was actually, though, I have to say, this is like I was actually relieved that Boston went all the way that year, so at least we can say we were stomped on by the champ and not some chumps that would have lost in the next round.
Yeah.
There you go. Hey, everybody, the name of the book is Fenway Punk: How a Boston Indie Label Scored Big on Baseball's Greatest Rivalry. There is the QR code. Don't be shy. Let it fly. It's a great book. There is the website right there. There is the website right there. Where else but available at www.chriswrenn.com. Pick up the book. It is fantastic. I love it. And I told you this, Chris, as soon as I read it. You just really, you had a great angle on it. It's a little bit different. It's not your typical sort of hardcore autobiography. It's really great. I highly recommend it to everybody. And I see that you are getting out there. You're getting out on the ball field, and you are doing a couple events. Tell us about what's going on.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be visiting some bookstores, around New England, and coming down to New York to just promote the book. Some of the events will be kind of moderated Q&As, like I'm doing with you in Brooklyn on the 13th. But some of them are just kind of meet and greets, hang out, talk shop, talk about hardcore. So I'm looking forward to just getting out there and have people check it out.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. Those that are in the New York metropolitan area, that's March 13th. I will be moderating at Powerhouse Arena in Dumbo at 7 p.m. We'll be doing this live, and I see a couple of other high-profile stops, including Glastonbury, Connecticut.
Yeah. So that's my hometown. We didn't really get into it, but in the book I mentioned that I'm originally from Central Connecticut, so I'll be visiting, hanging out with my parents, and maybe seeing some people from high school. So
see you in Glastonbury.
Nice.
Kajewski, that's Connecticut and not in the UK, right? Yeah. It reads like very good one. It reads like a screenplay. Who plays you?
Oh man, who's 25 right now or 24?
Yeah.
That would be good.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Some young handsome guy.
Yeah.
100%. Hey, let me take a quick sponsor break. Let me shout a couple things out. We'll come back and we'll take some questions from around the world, okay? See you in a few. All right, you.
Okay.
Go.
I'm glad we talked about our trauma.
That fucked me up, man. I was
Yeah, me too.
I was mean to my family for like a month after that. Like, mean. All right, I'll see you in a minute. Come on now, it's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. We are sponsored by blah, 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 and She-Devil's Coven. It's a female-owned entrepreneur business based out of Connecticut. Owner Rachel King Keys handcrafts soy wax candles set with intentions for your sanctuaries. She's accomplished a life goal dream since beauty school, debuting her artist showcase Hotties and Hellions that feature live bands, burlesque, sideshow acts, vendors, food trucks, and this year, a live auction with all proceeds going to the mental health program Punk Rock Saves Lives. Catch her in the tri-state area doing her thing, slinging candles at events. Keep an eye out for her coming to New York in the spring of 2026. You can find her on Etsy and on Instagram. That's right. You asked for it, you got it. New Jersey, represent. Minty Fresh Presents are a promotion company that put on hardcore metal shows at Locals Bar in Manalapan, New Jersey. Founded by Chris Golis of Bulldoze and Frankie DeAngelis of Silence Equals Death. What's up? The shows are all ages with plenty of free parking. The kitchen's open all night and the bar till 2 a.m. If you're a band looking to play and you don't totally friggin' suck, or if you do suck but draw a fuckload of people, please reach out to them, mintyfreshpresents@gmail.com. Ticket pre-sales for events are available at mintyfreshnewjersey.com. Check them out on Instagram at mintyfreshnewjersey and help spread the word to support DIY hardcore and metal in Central New Jersey. Minty Fresh Presents. And yo, just a caveat to that, the next Minty Fresh show is coming up Saturday, March 14th. Shutdown, Silence Equals Death record release party for the From the Ashes EP, Overthrow, representing Long Island, Deadshot, Surrender the Weapon, Born Tired, and Stadium. That is Saturday, March 14th. Last but not least, certainly not least, 126 Hardcore Clothing is a streetwear brand for restless individuals who don't compromise. They're about being positive, spontaneous, and true to yourself. For years, they experimented with several printing methods and materials and collaborated with a large number of designers and illustrators, always giving room for fresh perspectives while retaining the hardcore attitude. Get in touch with them and ramp up your weak-ass clothing game, www.126clothing.com. That said, I want to mention a couple of other events that are coming up. Go see Steven's band Saturday, March 7th at Whiskey Rocks out in Long Island, along with Stone Alice and Sanity. We just mentioned this at the Powerhouse Arena, Friday, March 13th. I will be moderating the Chris Wrenn book event for Fenway Punk. We just mentioned the Shutdown show, Minty Fresh. Yo, the next free all ages. No, the next free 16 and plus matinee at the A7 is Sunday, March 15th. non-residents, Why Die from Philly, The Long Wait from Boston, featuring former members of SSD Control and Wrecking Crew and Slapshot, Direct Order 82 featuring ex-member of Ensign, RBNX, the pride of the Hudson Valley, and of course, DJ SDK Sound System. That's Sunday, March 15th. Another minty fresh show, a benefit for our friend Kelly Kell, Furia 5, Sworn Enemy, etc. Saturday, April 4th. Rebelmatic at the A7, another one of our free Sunday matinees, Sunday, April 12th. And then we, Incendiary Device, we're doing the first of our record release shows, this one in New Jersey with Chemical X and Indie Ivid and Scary Hours at the hellhole known as the Meat Locker on April 17th. Also, we're playing Creep Fest down in Philly on April 25th. So that said, lots going on. Please post your questions for our guest, Chris Wrenn. Post them now. Now. God damn it. God damn it. Post it now. I should mention this too. Moderating book event at Generation Records on Sunday, April 26th. 3 books, 3 authors, live at the Safari Club, Shauna Kenny and Rich Dolinger. The Scenes and Discords and Anthology, Howard Wolfing, and the Bullshit Monthly Fanzine Anthology with Mike Bullshit. That's right. A lot going on. That is Sunday, April 26th. That is before the second Gorilla Biscuits straight ahead show at the Brooklyn Monarch. And then there's some other stuff going on, including this. Wow.
It's right around the corner.
Tell us about it.
Okay, well, Sunday, August 23rd, in our beloved Tompkins Square Park, we will be having our first annual Women of the Pit school supply drive with Sonic Bomb, World of Chaos, Butterbrain, and My War, and I can't wait for this. Hopefully it'll stop snowing by then.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
That said, post your questions. Let's bring our guest back on, Senor Chris Wrenn. Hey, man.
Hey.
Told you it would be just like bullshitting.
Yeah, just hanging out, talking with friends.
Hey, how's your daughter Georgia's store doing in Salem? Tell us about that. That is just awesome. Like, what's happened with that? Tell us about the Georgia journey so far.
Thank you. So so my daughter Georgia, she's 14. I helped her start a brand when she was 6. She's grown up in Salem, Massachusetts, so there's a lot of Halloween tourism. Her first T-shirt had a cute skull on it. And a ghost and a pumpkin. So we started doing vending around, literally just selling on a sidewalk, much like Sully's had started in Salem. And after about 7 years of kind of out of October tourism vending, we opened a store. So she has her own brick and mortar shop in downtown Salem. Yeah, it had stuff like that, like her super cute ghost and skulls.
I just took it off my refrigerator.
I have a bunch of her little girl power pins, the little heart with the girl power in it.
Yep.
I love that one.
Nice. Yeah. It's been really cool. I mean, she's super creative, and it's an opportunity for her to save money for college. It was basically why we started originally. We're like, hey, you know what? Like, if people want to buy these, let's save money for school. And the hope, I mean, she's a freshman in high school now. The hope is by the time she graduates, she'll have a free ride.
I'm sure she will. Yeah. It's great stuff.
Thank you.
Another brick and mortar store.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Paul Stone across the pond asks, how did Terror come into the Bridge 9 realm, being a Boston label, being from California?
So I had put out, and this is actually timely because Carry On has announced that they're reuniting, but Carry On was a LA area hardcore band from the 90s that I put out their first album, or their only album, but I put that out in 2001, and they broke up shortly after. So it's been 21 years since their final show. And they hadn't played for a couple of years prior to those. They kind of put together some final shows in 2005. But Todd Jones left after Carry On broke up. He started a new band, and it became Terror. So, having had that working relationship with them at the time, it was easier to be in the conversation. There were other, at the time, every label wanted to sign Terror. So it helped that we had history with their members, but we still had to step up to the plate to be able to sign them back then.
Sure. Good question. Friend and cohort Ray Hogan asks, was any part of the writing process more difficult for any reason? I read an early draft and loved it. Better than 99% of the drafts I'm asked to read.
Yeah, it was writing's hard, and I'm not somebody that writes professionally. So it took a lot of work. And somebody that is more experienced probably could have done what I did in a third of the time, but it was just a long, drawn out process. And you get to the point where you're kind of like overthinking it, and you're, getting diminishing returns, like tweaking, random words. And so it was nice at some point to have it taken out of my hands.
I have to say that your book has inspired me to revisit my manifesto, which has been, it's hard. It's hard. Like you said, I'm having a hard time with the discipline of sitting down every day and focusing on that, as opposed to the other routine that I have of the show, the band, the barrier, the other 5 things that are like a routine in my life that have been compartmentalized. Now I have to focus, sit down and think about the past, and sort of, and it's very difficult. Very difficult.
Yeah. Just finding, even if it's 30 minutes, that's what I've learned, is just find something that you can do in just bite-sized parts and.
Makes sense. Good. Is that right, Cindy? I have 2 Tower Records displays that Chris made in the 90s.
Oh, shit. Which ones do you have?
Wow.
That's awesome.
What do you got, Cindy? That's awesome.
That's exciting.
So I actually, that guy, Max Powers, that was wearing the American Nightmare hoodie next to the code enforcement police, that photo that you took. He was a teenage fan at the time, but he took home a Blood for Blood display that I made in the 90s. So I had a little discretion as one of the artists. I could make, I had to make my 10 items every week for the store, but if I wanted to make a couple other things and just kind of slide them in, I was allowed to do that. Cool. So I would make them for hardcore bands. I made them for Sick of It All, American Nightmare.
That's awesome.
Even like, smaller hardcore bands from Boston, like Proclamation, I did their CD, so I was able to make a display for them. But I made this really cool kind of 3-dimensional Blood for Blood one. And like 25 years later, it made its way back to me because Max had to go help his mom clean out their house, and it was in their basement. So I have it back.
That's great. Our good friend John in London, who does the Bridge 9 graphics? They are distinctly B9.
So I do a lot of the graphic design, but I work, depending on the release, I work with different artists for like individual releases, but all the nuts and bolts of stuff, and probably what kind of like makes things have a similar feel is usually stuff that I've done. Yeah.
Pat Baldwin says that's what made Tower great. They gave latitude to local staff.
Yeah. Yeah. We had free reign at the local art shop, like store. We could buy whatever we wanted to make pretty much whatever we wanted. It was wild. The budgets that they had back then were incredible. So it was really cool.
Shouting out our friend Mike Airy, whose dad Don has been on the show. Thanks to Larry and Chris for your amazingly kind and generous hospitality when I visited Beverly. So
it was great having Mike come through.
Yeah. Chris, what was your first hardcore show in Connecticut? Did you go to your first hardcore show in Connecticut?
I did go to my first hardcore show in Connecticut. It was more of like almost like a death metal show, if I'm remembering correctly. I don't know, like Vital Remains, maybe. Trying to remember some of the bands, but it was that was probably my first time going to like a small club, VFW maybe being 15.
You know what? I'm going to answer. Ray asked, "How did we meet?" Or how did you and I meet? And I'll tell. This is the way I like to remember it. And there's a tie-in with the book because when I started doing the Boston hardcore film, I was doing it with the executive producer was Dwayne Lucia, who ran the Gallery East, where we did shows when we were teenagers in Boston. It's where SSD Control played. When I was in the Mighty COs, I played. I'm talking 1982. Dwayne had a son, Noah. Noah sold for Chris, and he was one of your vendors. Who, and in the book, it's interesting. There's a little bit of a dust up with him, right? And an incident. But when I started when I started the Boston hardcore film, I think in 2010, maybe. That's how I met you, through Dwayne and through his son Noah, and that's how you and I got to know each other. Yeah,
Noah was one of Max's friends, so that's how I got to meet him. And of course, I was familiar with his dad's work with the Gallery East, not because that was way before my time, but because you knew of the Gallery East's name from old flyers, and you'd see them in books like Fucked Up and Photocopied, all those old SSD flyers. So that was a kind of a cool connection to have with him.
But that's how me and Chris met. It was through the Boston hardcore film and through Dwayne Lucia of Galleries. And then I think a while after that, wasn't my brother up there doing some sports thing, some Yahoo sports thing? And we got a bunch of Sully stuff. That was a wild shoot, man.
I want to say that was maybe 2010. Your brother was filming like a super fan, like a Patriots super fan that happened to be like a block from our office.
Right. Yeah. So yeah. Oh, Larry Kelly says I ended up meeting Chris because of the connection with Drew.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I have to say, Larry is probably one of the. I refer to him as like my guardian angel. I mean, one of the best people to come into my life, and because of all of this.
Oh, you too?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Get in line, right?
Join the club. Yeah, he really built a lot of built out a lot of the design of the store for you.
Yeah. And at a level that was so much nicer than I think anyone would have expected.
Oh yeah. Like the craftsmanship is just incredible.
Well, I remember hearing that Chris Wrenn just got a place. It's an old car dealership. And I remember, I don't know if I was saying it to you or to him, saying, that's a lot of work, man. That's like, and so let me get this straight. You and him are like doing everything. This is going to take some time.
It took us a year and a half. I mean, it was so much longer and more involved than anyone, I think, than I expected.
I guess you're always finding things that are like, we got this, and then when we peeled this back, we saw that problem, and then the roof started leaking and all that bullshit, right?
Yeah, it's still leaking.
But just even all the bins and the furniture and the fittings for the store, everything is custom. Everything is beautiful. Everything is unique, clean lines. It's gorgeous. Yeah.
Thank you.
It was like therapy.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful building. And it must be great, Chris, to finally, after years of sort of living out there on the working out there on the perimeter with B9 and everything, to have a place that's truly your home.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we wanted. We wanted something that we couldn't get, hopefully, pushed out of. Like we just like kind of like got it and built into it, and we want to be here forever. So
yeah.
The thing that I like the most about it is that you do a lot of stuff for other people there, a lot of events for artists like myself, smaller record labels. You had that independent record label day that you had hosted in that big warehouse space. You have vegan markets and all types of things for the community. So, I mean, thank you so much for giving others that opportunity, because you don't charge us for those spaces either.
Yeah, well, I mean, in a lot of ways, it's self-serving. I mean, it's cool to have cool things happening, and we have the space. We want to use it as kind of like a hub to to give other people opportunities. But I mean, it's win-win, right? Especially with the vegan markets. I mean, we've had these amazing vegan markets, and they're, you know, we host them, but they're organized by the woman that owns a candle shop across the street from us. And when she came up to me and she's like, you know, would you be into having like a bunch of delicious vegan food vendors like in your building? It's like,
yes, please.
Yeah, seriously, like this, like let's do it today. So it was a win-win.
That's awesome. Ray mentions, and I can attest, I was there, and this was a great day. The Agnostic Front SSD mashup at Bridge 9 was one of my favorite days in was it Boston COVID? It was after all that, wasn't it? Not a question, but so I also have this photo. I know this is a little earlier, but tell us about your history with like Agnostic Front and all that.
Yeah, so that photo was taken at our old warehouse when we were in Peabody. That photo's probably from 2009, maybe after a little after 2009. But that, you know, I had the opportunity to start working with Agnostic Front in 2007. We did a single for them because they were, you know, they've been on much bigger, usually like metal European kind of hardcore metal labels. So we've had the opportunity to kind of tee up their new albums with a 7-inch for 4 or 5 releases now, which has been a great honor. And it's, you know, it's funny because, you know, the whole like the whole kind of backstory of this is, you know, riffing on the rivalry with the Yankees and talking shit about New York, but more New York bands have benefited from that, I think, than even Boston bands. So, you know, having the opportunity to work with legends like Agnostic Front, I mean, this is 2007. This is prime Fenway Park, you know, earning money time for us. It just kind of came right back.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's cool.
A couple photos that you sent me, just a little show and tell. What's going on? What exactly is going on here?
So again, that goes back to that bridge that I painted back in, you know, 1999. This was around the same time at late 90s. I had no money. I had no means to promote Bridge 9 as a brand or as a label or my bands really at the time. So, you know, outside of a few small, you know, newsprint fanzine ads, I was looking for ways to put Bridge 9 on things. So again, this probably kind of is related to my interest in graffiti, you know, as a teenager. So I would go and try and make Bridge 9 part of whatever, you know, the environment was. So I wheat pasted a big Bridge 9 logo on the side of that billboard.
I didn't see that coming. Honestly, I thought you'd be like, this is where we had our first office where we like, I swear, that's what I thought this was. I did not see that coming.
Yeah, so, no, I was just, you know, I remember I printed out like labels and made my own T-stop for Bridge 9 on all the MBTA maps. So like I would go to every map and just put, you know, and it was somewhat incriminating. It was, I'd put like where my stop was in the exact same font as, you know, the T-stops in the same exact lettering, Bridge 9.
That's great. What is... You know what? I don't know, Josh. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Oh, Josh wanted me to ask about this, which I knew nothing about until today.
So, yeah, basically, I think this was maybe 2009. Jay Moss, who was in Defeater, had been hired by Lego because one of my former employees, his brother, worked at Lego on their TV show and would create content for Lego, the toy brand.
Sure.
And they were making music videos with Lego figures. And they had like a hardcore song, like a stoner rock song, I think like a ska or an indie rock song. And basically Jay was helping write the music and record this music. And he said, "Hey, we're doing this hardcore song. Do you want to come in and do the vocals for it?" And as someone that has really never done that, I think the closest, to this was I was on tour with a band in Australia, and they would do an SSD cover. So I would do Glue, and then
It sounds good, man.
very quickly and then jump into the crowd.
It sounds really good. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Once again, as we head down the home stretch, the book is Fenway Punk: How a Boston Indie Label Scored Big on Baseball's Greatest Rivalry. Here is the QR code. I highly recommend it.
Yes.
It's really a great read. There it is, and of course, it is available at www.chriswrenn.com. What else is the future holding, Chris? With the label, with is it another book maybe, or what's the future looking like?
So we're just kind of keep doing what we're doing. We've got a lot of releases from our catalog that are overdue for a repress. So we're going to be focusing on doing some reissues and repressings from our catalog. Still interested in working with new bands. So we're still checking out demos. We are trying to do more events. I mean, we have this sick event on March 7th that's going to be happening here at Bridge 9 that we're not really talking about who's playing. It's a secret show.
Another one of those wink shows.
If you know what Bridge 9 is, if you know the artists we've hosted, from Newfound Glory to American Nightmare and H2O and Cave In and Incendiary Device and Agnostic Front. I mean, 10-Yard Fight. I mean, we've had all these incredible shows, and we have one that is up there in that same collective kind of space. So, but we're not going to announce who it is. We might tease it a little bit, but
right,
we're honored to host it. That's happening March 7th. So we're hoping to keep doing more events in our space. We've got an artist market coming out on April 18th on Record Store Day that Larry is helping coordinate. So Lori, I think, are you going to be there?
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. Yeah. Yes. So we're going to have like a bunch of artists here, and we'll be celebrating Record Store Day, and there's going to be a coffee cart. So we're like trying to do things that get the community together, because ultimately, when we're talking about the Initech space, we want this to be a space where real shit happens and where people make connections, because that's how all the cool things happen, when people are in the same room together. And we're hoping to do more of that here.
Right on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that brings me back to my, my record store days of when I used to work in a record store, and it was a gathering space. And I think we've lost that a lot, with a lot of record stores closing down and the internet taking over and this and that. But the importance of, these community spaces where people come together and communicate with each other in real time, face to face, really makes, good things happen. So
100%. I mean, that's really the main reason that Larry and me and Ray and you, Lori, do these shows. We fight for these free 16 and plus matinees, because there's nothing more joyful to me when the community comes together and people are connecting, and the community and the culture is popping off. Yes. For whatever the reason, there's nothing that brings me joy like that. Really, not my films, not Incendiary Device, but I guess for me, it's and probably for you too, Chris. It just reminds me of being in my teens and what that community meant to me, and to be able to throw the party now just means an awful lot to me. Yes. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that this book focuses on is like, it's a celebration of DIY.
That's right.
But the reality is, I didn't do any of this by myself. I started it, and that's one of the points I try to make is I start things, but it takes the village, it takes your friends and people to kind of help make something really happen. And like, if you're like by yourself in your basement, like, you don't have that village. Like, you need people like in real life to help you make things happen. So when you're out there engaging with people in real life, then cool shit can happen.
Yeah, 100%. You can't win if you don't play. He who dares wins. Hey, can I answer this one for you? Would you ever consider buying your own vinyl press like Equal Vision, or too much of a hassle?
Oh, I mean,
no, I got it. It's too much of a hassle.
Yeah. I mean, that would have been the dream, but like, and I mean, dude, Steve Reddy and Equal Vision, God bless them. It's incredible. And I've had the opportunity to watch that since the early days. You know, I booked one show at my college in Vermont, and it was with Shift and Project Kate and Baby Gopal. So I met, so Steve came and Ray Capo came. And so I had an opportunity to meet these guys in 1996. But watching what Equal Vision has turned into and the opportunities that he's had, it's amazing.
I think that segues into this question from Triv Karama 108. What's your relationship with some of the other hardcore labels in the area? Death Wish, etc., and beyond. Equal Vision, Discord, all seems very collegiate, supportive. Is that? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've had long connections with all of them. I mean, Death Wish, we shared an office for 4 years from 2003 to 2007. We were like in the same room. You know, and as we were, unlike Initech, where everybody kind of had their own lane, Death Wish, there was a lot more overlap. So at some point it got to the point where we realized, all right, we're like stepping on each other's toes. But their office now is one street behind us.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah, they're literally, I could hit them with a tennis ball.
They're in Beverly?
Yeah.
They're in Beverly.
Yeah. So
I didn't know that.
We were both in Salem until 2007. I moved to Peabody for 14 years. They moved to Beverly, and they were down the street, and maybe a couple of years ago moved right behind us after we moved here. So we're in the same neighborhood again. It's cool.
That's cool.
That's great.
Well, there you go. Is there anybody you would like to thank? Is there anybody you'd like to shout out? And it was sure fantastic today, Chris. And I just want to say to everybody out there, if you are in the tri-state area, please come down, because we will be doing this live on Friday, March 13th at the Powerhouse Arena in Dumbo. Basically, you know, me, Chris, and you. So come through. Anybody you want to thank? Anybody you want to shout out?
Yeah, I mean, you know, thank you to you and Steven and Lori. I mean, I appreciate you putting me on the show again, you know, second time in 5 or so years. You know, he's holding down the shop here at Bridge 9. I'm in the warehouse. He's in the front of the store, and he's been, you know, chiming in, which is, you know, he's amazing. I know Nancy's in here, and she had a question and said to talk about the mayor, and she was one of my early beta readers for the book, and Ray Hogan. I mean, there's a bunch of people, you as well, that took a look at it, you know, way before I had the book deal and before like things were really moving. So again, I mean, this was something that I started on my own, but it took a whole bunch of people kind of like chiming in and helping me kind of guide it to make it happen.
Sure. Awesome. All right. I'll see you in a couple weeks, and good luck up there, and we'll talk to you soon.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
See you on March 7th.
Take care. Bye-bye.
That was great. Yeah. Another edition of the New York Hardcore Chronicles book club.
Welcome to the New York Hardcore Chronicles, hanging out with my friends. Today, I'm going to be hanging out with my good friend Chris Wrenn and Lori Dawn, just bullshitting about stuff. Hope you enjoy it.
Yeah.
It was great. It was really.
You know, I encourage anybody who doesn't live in the area, you know, take a trip to Boston, see Salem, see Bridge 9, you know. Bridge 9 is like 5 minutes away from Salem.
Yep.
So you can go and visit, you know, George's little shop there in Salem, and then Bridge 9.
Yeah.
So it's a perfect little weekends away.
Well, Ray says I love the book episodes, and the film episodes. We got a doc one next, and then we got a book one.
Yeah, we're all.
Then we got a record one. Then we got you're co-hosting this one, and then we got another film one, and another book one, and then a record one.
Yes. A lot of stuff coming up. And
Go ahead.
Larry and I are putting together the art show up at Bridge 9, April 18th. That's on Record Store Day. And we do need a few more artists. So anybody in the area, we're looking for about 3 more artists to fill out the space.
And you are, just real quick, I know this is one of a couple flyers, but you're involved with Dollfest?
Yes. So Dollfest is happening on March 27th, 28th, 29th. This is for the pre-party here. You can see the bands on there. And then on Saturday and Sunday, bands like Vile, War on Women, Bad Cop, among some of the headliners there. That's happening out in Oakland, California. It's going to be a celebration of feminine energy, and it's going to be a really good time. Yep, there you go. There's Sunday's lineup.
Very
yeah,
cool.
some really good bands on there, and it's just going to be a real blowout out there. Yeah.
Right on.
Excited about that.
Well, I think, hey, Larry, hey, listen, if you're in Bridge 9 Records right now and you can hear me and I'm on the TV screen, that guy at the counter, take a bunch of things, just buy a bunch of shit. Give the money to Larry Kelly.
Yes. Our guardian angel.
There he is. Listen, you bum.
Absolutely.
I know you got that record in your hand. You got that record in your hands, and you think, listen, you know what? Chances are you don't need that shit. You don't really need to bring another record home. But you know what? I'm telling you, you better go buy it. There you go.
Absolutely.
Wonderful guest, wonderful show. Thank you. Well, thank you. Thank you, everybody. It was great. Great show. We'll see everybody back here a week from today for the Hank's Saloon documentary. Should be really interesting. We love when we have filmmakers on. And thanks a lot, Lori.
Yes, thank you. This is a great show. Everybody
hunker down for the storm.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if it's starting to snow out there yet.
You're about to sell a freewheeling Bob Dylan. Is that right? Love that record. Hey, you Dylan fan, if you can hear me, good choice. Yes. I highly recommend Blood on the Tracks. I like that.
Yes.
I don't want to wrestle in the garden. Hey, speaking of wrestling, I watched that film last night. What was that? Is it called The Claw, about the Von Erich family? I watched that last night with my wife.
Yeah, good. A good one?
It was aight.
Okay.
It was like watchable. It wasn't. The great wrestling film is Mickey Rourke and The Wrestler. That is a very incredibly emotional and well done film.
And now I feel like we were talking about that. I feel like now I want to watch it again, but it's heavy.
Oh,
you have to be
The Crusher.
ready to
I got to watch. I haven't seen The Crusher. Is that the new one? Is that?
I think that's the one. Is that the one with The Rock?
Is it? I think it is. Watch it today. It's a hard watch. Is it called The Claw? I think. Is it called The Claw? I don't remember what the name it was. But it's one of those films like we watched in 3 sittings. We watched in it's over 2 hours. We watched it in 45 minutes, 35 minutes, and that's how we got through it.
Yeah.
It was worth watching. And Zac Efron's in it, and the kid has got an incredible physique. He's stacked.
Really?
The Iron Claw. That's what it's called.
Okay.
Not that I'm checking out Zac Efron's body or anything, but
all right. Hey, listen.
It's fabulous, as Alago would say. As a matter of fact, funny, Alago saw that film the day it came out, and he told me it's fabulous. You have to see it.
Okay, well, there you go.
It's fabulous. Zac Efron's half naked the whole show, the whole thing. Now yeah. Lori's interested.
Right. Actually, I was like,
Yeah. What are you doing tonight? Oh, nothing. Right.
Just thought I'd light a few candles and watch this film.
Yeah, God. You got to watch it in segments. So.
Yeah. It's a lot. Yeah, that's great. Georgia's designs are just darling.
It's so interesting. I remember when Georgia was a toddler, and now she's She's got like a big.
14, I know. It's like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're just a really lovely family.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, really nice.
Lori has never watched any movie I've asked
Actually,
her
it's
about.
true. I actually think that Larry makes up movie titles and just says.
The Larry comes out like with some shit like, "Oh, you got us! It's the greatest movie ever," and I'm like, "I
Right.
haven't even heard of it." Yeah.
Right. Thank you. So I'm not the only one.
Andrew Wakeman, 2062. Iron Claw, the real story is shocking. The wrestler Mickey Rourke rang 100% true to my experience in minor league wrestling.
Wow.
Yeah. The wrestler, how Mickey Rourke did not get an Oscar for that is a crime against humanity.
And I thought Marissa Tomei was amazing.
Oh, she was
in it, too.
fantastic.
And I like the way like their two careers, you know, like this aging stripper and aging wrestler. It was just so like
It's a great film.
yeah, tragically beautiful.
It's a great film.
Yeah.
All right. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye. There you have it, episode 417 in the books. Thank you for stopping by, everybody. Love you. It was fantastic. We'll see you in a week. Until next time, do good things, and good things will come to you.
Conditioned by indoctrination, conditioned by society. You're a victim of the digital age, a 21st century casualty.